Okay, are we live? Live, yeah, here we are. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Tom's Hit Parade. Or maybe I should say, hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to Tom's Hit Parade. Some of you will get the inside joke on that. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm doing okay, I think. You know, it's been an eventful week in the news, hasn't it? Yeah, that's the word I'll use. Eventful. Yeah. Hang on one second. I was not prepared. I need to. Oh, that's not where I need to go. I need to go to my tablet. Hang on. Sorry. Grossly underprepared. I have notes to go by, but I need to download them to my tablet, which in this age of wonderful connectivity shouldn't take more than a few seconds. Hey, Retro. Noah. Thought you liked the intro there. Okay. Anytime this week here. Let's go. Okay. 2020 intro is the file that I'm looking for. I tapped it already. Do something with it. This tablet is kind of like me. It doesn't want to cooperate. What is wrong with this thing? Download. Sorry about that, folks. I was thinking about, honestly, not doing this, begging out of it, but I had already put out at least 2 reminders of it, and so that would have been kind of not good on my part. So I didn't want to let you guys down. I wanted to go ahead and go forward with this. First of all, just because I'm tired, this depressing news cycle, I'm not going to get into it because it'll make me more depressed. Just made me exhausted this week. I don't know about you guys. And on that note, if any of you who are watching live in a country other than the United States, I deeply envy you right now. Let me just put it that way. And let me see if this is downloaded. But also, I decided to go ahead and go through with this because back in the summer when I was doing my lunchtime live streams, there were a couple of times when I felt like canceling them, not doing them that particular week, but I went ahead and did them, and by the end, I was in a better mood. You guys made me feel better tuning in and, doing your commenting and giving me support. It made me feel better, so I decided maybe that'll work in this case. So, okay. Now, where is that stinking file? There it is. Knew it was in there somewhere. Using my files. Technology appears to be my enemy today. There we go. Okay. And, oh, of course you guys are here. How could it not work with Noah and Alyssa? Moral support if there ever was. Thank you guys for tuning in. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, this was, as I hinted at the beginning of my Spectacular-ish. I usually start out my Spectacular-ish with a little speech about the past year, what it meant to me in music and what it meant to me in general, and what may be happening in the year to come. But I decided to do it in the event of a live stream. I hadn't done a live stream in, 4 months? And so I decided it was time to do one again. So, and now the file that I just downloaded is not in my recent files. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done this tonight because I'm having trouble with technology here. And I was like 30 seconds late logging on here. So anyway, yeah. So I decided to do it in the form of a live stream, shake things up a little bit, and hopefully maybe I'll do that every year to come. So just to make it more interesting, give you guys a chance to ask questions, just tell me what's on your mind in general. But anyway, I'm going to be reading at my tablet, which is over here, so I'm going to be taking my eyes off the screen. But then what else is new with my videos? So yes, no, that's the wrong file. Oh boy. I downloaded this stinking file. Where is it? Recent files. Sorry. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see, my files. Let's see if it's hiding in there. Oh boy. I'm sorry about the awkward silence. This is going to be a horrible live stream. I think. Okay, 2020 intro. That's the file that I want. Now it's going to open in Google Drive like it was supposed to and didn't the first time. So. Yay, Android. Okay. Now, the three little dots for the menu. Downloading file. Thank you. Maybe that's how I should have done it, was in my ASMR voice. That would be so. Yeah, really prepared. Yeah. Thanks, Noah. Okay. Close Google Drive. Open My Files. Recent Files. 2020 intro. Thank you. Okay. Let's see if that's already. Yes, this is the right file. Hey, yay me. What can I say? Hopefully this is not a harbinger of what the rest of 2021 has in store. Yes, we've actually had, since January 1st, we've had 2 storms blow through that knocked out our power for a couple hours. So yeah, it's like not the best way to start the first week of 2021, but hey, Mother Nature's going to do what she's going to do, right? Let's get this party started. Let's tear the roof off the sucker. Anyway, so my speech after I drink some water. Excuse me. So yes, in 2019, my family and I dealt with a massive snowstorm and 4-day power outage, which cost us a month of weekends in cleanup, as well as all the food in our refrigerator and freezer because it thawed and went bad, as well as a major re-roofing project that took 2 months of weekends in sweat and strain and noise and mess, as you remember, I'm sure, and 2 medical scares, a back injury for my brother and a diabetic episode for my mother. And and let's not forget the closure of a local record store that was my home away from home for 24 years. So, 2019 was not the best of years, but if I had known what 2020 had up its sleeve, a big part of me would have traded it for another 2019 in a cold minute, let me tell you. But yes, between the ongoing pandemic and its economic fallout that the whole world has been dealing with, not just my town or my county or my state, but the whole world, and the catastrophic late summer wildfires that ravaged through most of the western U.S. and came to within 15 miles of our own backyard, and giving us more than a few tense days and sleepless nights. And throw in for my family a month without internet. You remember that fun? And a week and a half during the summer with no air conditioning. And yeah, 2020 was, there's no gentle way of saying this, a dumpster fire shitstorm cluster flunk of a year. I think that's the most poetic way to put it. I didn't say that F word, I said another F word, okay? I did say the S word, but everybody hears that, right? But honestly, all things considered, my family and I consider ourselves extraordinarily lucky, seriously, in that we avoided the worst fallout from the pandemic, economic as well as health-wise. None of us have caught COVID thus far, and we've all managed to stay healthy. And we have jobs in fields that were not impacted by the restrictions or the shutdowns. So somebody up there, I think, is, even though I'm not sure if I think somebody up there is watching us. And frankly, we haven't missed being able to go to sporting events or parties or even concerts, since we've never been particularly fond of crowds or loud noise anyway. Yes, as much as I love music, I'm not a huge fan of live music. I just like I said, the noise in the crowds, just not quite my thing. I like watching concert DVDs, though. Does that help? Excuse me. And all the stuff that's happened in 2020 has even been beneficial in a couple of ways. The aforementioned month without internet ended with us getting 100 times faster internet, 100 megabits per second as opposed to 1.2 megabits per second, which not only makes working from home so much easier and better, but now we're able to reliably stream TV and movies, video chat, and I've been able to live stream on YouTube, which I'd been getting the itch to do for a while. And speaking of working from home, the gas money and lunch money we've saved by doing so, along with a couple of other factors, even allowed me to pick up a few indulgences that made being stuck at home day after day a little more tolerable. Yes, you're getting the unedited me speaking from a script here with all the little foibles and flutters. Most of these purchases benefited my YouTube channel. I invested in an Android tablet, from which I now read my notes and do my videos, as well as a mounting bracket for attaching said tablet to my camera's tripod. So yes, I used to just print the notes out on paper, scotch tape them to my tripod or to the viewfinder of my camcorder. So yeah, really high tech. So yes, and I'm, a fringe benefit from that is I'm saving paper, I'm saving the ink from the printer. Okay, wins all around. And and as evidence of how much further I've gone down the vinyl rabbit hole, yes, I don't think I'm at vinyl snob territory yet, but I'm really getting into vinyl, I gotta say. I've also invested in an arsenal of record care products that I hope will make my records both sound better and last for the rest of my life. So, but even though our work and home circumstances were pretty stable through the year, I have to admit I was not without my psychological and emotional ups and downs. And I think I can speak for pretty much everybody, all of my YouTube friends and acquaintances. And this is, by the way, mostly earlier in the year when things were still very uncertain and there was not yet any sort of light at the end of the tunnel with regard to a vaccine coming around the bend. I feel extremely blessed that my mother lives with me, so that I've been able to share hugs with her. And because that's kind of like one of the most important things that has helped me keep my sanity. And I do not want to rub it in to anyone else out there who is living apart from their parents and is not able to cross bubbles and to be able to hug them, because those my mother and I have both needed hugs very frequently over the last several months, and they've come in very handy. So my heart's out to you if you are not able to be with your parents or your children, depending on what your circumstances are, and your age bracket. But like I said, I've been extraordinarily lucky in that respect. Water break, excuse me. Oh yes, I'm sure you will change my aversion to concerts. I'm counting on it. And as I was saying, I won't lie, I struggled a lot, as I know many people did, with maintaining the enthusiasm and motivation for making YouTube videos. I won't lie to you. And I hope I managed to make that invisible to you, to make you oblivious to the fact. And I'm honestly very surprised that this year, 2020, was nearly as prolific for me content-wise as the previous year was. I made almost as many videos in 2020 as I did in 2019. So that surprises the heck out of me considering the circumstances. So if you'll indulge me for a minute or two, I need to dish out some well-deserved thanks. Because this year was not easy for any of us, and whether you love or hate technology, it's made this possible. And we have to admit that the isolation the pandemic necessitated would have been an excruciating level of hell if it weren't for the connectivity, imperfect as it is, that the internet brings us. So first of all, my circle of YouTube friends, here comes the love guys, Noah, Ryan, Garrett, and the rest of you on my mental list, you know who you are. I love and appreciate every one of you, having you guys in my life. It's just, it's like I said, I don't know if I would have survived 2020 up here without you guys. I feel like I've grown a bit closer to you guys this year, and primarily through my newfound ability to video chat, finally being able to talk with you face to face instead of just voice or text or email, and in a way that inviting each other into our personal living spaces, in a way. You have no idea how welcome of a digital refuge that has been to me every time we've done so. I mean, it helps me to escape these four walls, even though it's not uncomfortable living here. It's getting out, even if it's just virtually, into another world for a little while. It's just been wonderful, and I love you guys. I gotta say, and even the YouTubers that I subscribe to and watch regularly, whom I don't personally communicate with. And by the way, in my description field, I just a couple weeks ago updated the links to my favorite YouTube channels in the description field. So there are several new channels that I invite you guys to check out. And some of you might not even need to check out because some of you guys might even be on the list. And I want to thank however many of you YouTubers that I don't communicate with who may be watching this. If I'm one of your subscribers, this means you. And just watching a video isn't interactive like video chat, but your content has provided an escape that I had desperately needed many, many times over 2020 and still do into 2021. The way that these first couple of weeks of the year have been turning out. And also to all of the subscribers and viewers I've held on to throughout the past year, and to the subscribers who have joined on since. I've noticed a little uptick in subscribers over the last few weeks, so thank you guys and welcome to the channel. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch my ramblings, my YouTube videos, my shenanigans, and liking and sharing and commenting on my videos. Knowing that you guys like this foolishness that I do here gives me the motivation to keep doing it, even if the motivation can occasionally be a little intermittent. But I think I can speak for everyone who is watching this, that we wouldn't have gotten through this year with our sanity intact without music. For me, music serves as a means of escape much more often than as a means of catharsis, but I've needed both at different times throughout 2020. So yes, I think we can all thank, and to every one of the artists whose music I've added to my library this year. It would take me hours to name them all. Very few of you will be watching this, you artists out there. But all the same, I can't thank you enough, because it's not much of an exaggeration when I say that, in a way, you artists have saved my life this year, or at least my sanity. And I think, as I said, I think a lot of my friends watching this could probably agree with that statement. If not for all of you mentioned above, from the artists to my YouTube friends to my subscribers to my subscribed channels, there's a distinct possibility you might have read a news story about a guy in Oregon who'd gone bat crap, put a clown costume on, and driven a bus full of nuns off a cliff. That could have been what happened. I mean, I've come close every once in a while, all the craziness. And that's, I hope that doesn't, that joke doesn't seem off-color to anybody, but I'm kind of a fan of the, how do you say it, the slightly irreverent kind of humor. George Carlin, I'm a disciple of George Carlin, so that's just, I don't mean anything against nuns, literally, that was just a funny image that's one thing that George Carlin did, was put funny images in words into people's heads, just at random, so. In my sane episodes, I would never, ever drive nuns off a cliff, honestly. I swear to, no pun intended. Anyway, I'm getting off track. As you can tell, when I get a little tired, I get a little weird, in case you haven't noticed. But I thought I'd take a few minutes also to talk about the musicians who left us over the past year, the ones who are no longer with us, be it due to COVID or other circumstances. One of the musicians that I didn't realize passed away, that I have a bit of a connection to, and I forgot to get the CDs out and to show them, because I was originally going to do this as a filmed video, and I would have had the CDs out. But there's a musician and producer out there named Rupert Hine, and he produced Rush, Tina Turner, Stevie Nicks, Duncan Shake, the Thompson Twins, and Howard Jones. But he also did the music for the soundtrack for a favorite comedy film of mine. It's kind of one of those surrealistic comedy films called Better Off Dead. It was a John Cusack movie, one of John Cusack's first movies. If you like really weird humor, I invite you to check that movie out. But anyway, he did the music for that movie, and so it was kind of and I have the CD, which I think is a little bit hard to find, actually. But yeah, that's what I remember him from. But yeah, he did plenty of other production work, so it probably wouldn't take you long to find his name in the production credits of a song or an album. So Godspeed, Rupert Hine, who I never recognized, the passing I never recognized over the year. And then, of course, Trini Lopez, who I mentioned before. I've got a few of his albums now. I mentioned him in my A to Z, which I still plan on doing the final video of, even though it's no longer 2020. Yeah, that's a long story. I'll probably talk about it in the intro to that final, that A to Z big wrap-up video I'm going to do. Yes, Trini Lopez, a artist who's hit his prime in, I think, the 60s. Very nice artist. Yeah, I discovered him, as I said, in my A to Z, and bought a few albums of his since. So, yeah. And then, of course, Neil. Is it Neil Peart or Neil Peart? Ryan would know the answer to this because it's a Canadian man. The drummer from Rush passed away over the year, and then Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne passed away, and Wayne Fontana, the frontman for Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders, as well as a bunch of country legends: Joe Diffie, Charlie Daniels, Mac Davis, Charlie Pride, one of the pioneering black country musicians. You got to give him. He had guts to go into an extremely white genre. So yeah, kudos to him, as well as Billy Joe Shaver and Jerry Jeff Walker. A bunch of country musicians passed away over the last year. And then Bonnie Pointer of the Pointer Sisters, Helen Reddy, who was an actress and singer, sang the feminist anthem "I Am Woman." I love her. She was in Pete's Dragon, a Disney movie, and it's one of my childhood favorites. So that's how I'm familiar with her. And a recent passing, Katie Oslin, who was, I believe, a country and pop kind of crossover artist. She passed away. And then Justin Townes Earle, a Americana folk singer, Toots Hibbert, as well as Spencer Davis. They all passed away. And Johnny Nash, a soul and R&B singer, famous for his song "I Can See Clearly Now." It's a song that I hope will gain a special meaning over the year. I guess that's my clumsy metaphor, segue-ish kind of thing. And then the biggest deaths of previous year, obviously the ones we cannot forget and still don't forget: Bill Withers, John Prine, Kenny Rogers, Little Richard, and of course Eddie Van Halen. So yeah, we lost a lot of people over the past year, and surprisingly, not a lot of them were from COVID. Some of them were just it was their time. You know, the Lord said, "Check, please," and that's when you got to go, I guess. So that's pretty much my script, and it's only 22 minutes. Well, that's not long. So let me check the comments while I've been jabberwockying away here. Ben, how's it going? Yeah, I was going to send you a reminder, and I didn't, and I guess we both paid the price for that, didn't we? Thank you, Noah and Alyssa. Love you guys. Wonderful comment from you guys. And so, one thing I forgot to mention: these CDs back here. I have a Discogs account, so if you want to, I'm selling these CDs on Discogs. So you just look up Tom Q Public on Discogs. I'm selling these CDs, all the ones in that box. So yeah, maybe you guys will find something you like, and that's my big shameless self-promotion there. Excuse me. What else? I'm open to questions. Anybody have any questions that I may or may not be able to answer? I have not been the best at being able to answer questions off the cuff, so that's one reason I'm not terribly great at live streaming. Is if I have time to think of questions and then answer them later, that's great. But yeah, thinking off the spur of the moment, off the top of my head, the top of my head is not really there apparently. So, but yeah. What can I say? I'm getting into cassettes again. Yeah, I have my cassette collection has almost doubled in the last few weeks. That's not saying much because I only had half a dozen cassettes before then, and for the vast majority of them were from the freebie shelf. So it's not like I'm putting a lot of money into cassettes. But yes, that new cassette deck that I was able to get for free is getting plenty of love. I assure you. As well as that new vintage turntable is it's got its defects, I guess you'd say, but it's treating me well. It's fun having a piece of vintage gear on my system. So not a year new. Excuse me. Little frog in the throat there. I'm not a New Year's resolution type, but what are some of my goals for this year? Well, one goal is to visit a dear friend, a couple of very, very dear friends in Oklahoma. I'd like to do that. We heard a story on the news that was speculating that the general public, me being amongst the general public, might not get their coronavirus vaccines until September. And my first thought was, hell no, I ain't waiting that long. And I don't want to risk getting on an airplane until I've had my vaccinations, just because I don't want to. I guess airplanes are the joke is airplanes are enough of a petri dish without COVID-19 running around. So yeah, all things considered, as much as I would absolutely love to visit these very, very dear friends in Oklahoma, I don't know if I'll be able to. Hopefully, the estimate was way over the mark, and we will get our vaccines before then. So, fingers crossed. And phase 2, huh? And I guess yeah, you're in education, so maybe that I don't know if that puts you up in ahead in the line, but yeah, who knows what's on the minds of the powers that be in regard to this, I guess. Yeah. Let's see, other New Year's resolutions. Try not to go hog wild spending so much money on records. Cool. An advantage to being an educator, if not full-fledged, degree carrying educator, at least, I'm not trying to make that sound like you're not really an educator. I'm sorry, no, I don't mean it that way. You know what I mean. How will my channel change? Yes, that's what I was going to talk about. Duh, I'm telling you, nights are not my best time. Well, when I'm tired is not my best time. But yeah, my channel. One thing you might notice, as I mentioned my list of favorite. I know. Yes, you're a substitute. I'm sorry. I apologize deeply, Noah. Please forgive me. Don't unsubscribe, please. What was I saying? Oh yeah, in the you're distracting me. Getting me on the list of my favorite YouTube channels that's in my description, my revised description of my video. You might notice there are several more channels that have to do with vinyl records, and so I'm kind of becoming more enamored of the vinyl community on YouTube. I don't presume to consider myself a member of the vinyl community. I know there's probably not an official designation or anything, but it's a fun community. Their channels are different from the other music channels, like Spectrum Pulse and Needle Drop and Maniac Reviews and the others. They almost never talk about, well, they rarely talk about new albums. They're not album review centric channels, is what I'm basically trying to say. So I kind of like those channels, and I may be taking some cues from how those YouTubers do their channels. So, I mean, Backtracks isn't going anywhere, and Bargain Bag for the next 12 months isn't going anywhere. It's going somewhere a year from now. But yeah, so those features are going to stay put. And although I am thinking about how I'm going to do December Bargain Bag, because I don't want to have, like, when I do the pulling CDs out of the Bargain Bag, I don't do the breakdown of what I listen to until the following month. So it'd be kind of weird to have just one Bargain Bag episode sitting in 2022 at the beginning. So I'm kind of thinking I will accelerate Bargain Bag a little bit at the end of the year so that the very final ultimate Bargain Bag wrap-up happens before the end of 2021. So, side note, I don't know how many of you guys care about that or not, but anyway. Hey, Bargain Bag is fun. Listen to it or watch it if you haven't yet. So yeah, those features won't be going anywhere. My now and then video album review videos, that's a thing that's been weighing on my mind a lot, because I've never thought, I mean, I know you guys are going to disagree, but I've never thought I've been really, really great at album reviews, or at least, I mean, some of them, I have my moments with some of them, but I've been really unenthusiastic lately about doing album reviews, even though now and then I'm proud of that segment because it's a twist on the album review that is unique to me. I think I own that, and the vast majority of my highest viewed videos on my channel happen to be now and then videos. So in a way, I guess I'd kind of be shooting myself in the foot, doing away with the now and then thing. But when you don't have a high level of enthusiasm for doing something on your channel, but you force yourself to do it anyway, your viewers are going to notice. That's always been my philosophy, is if you force yourself to do something, it's not going to be as good as if it comes from your heart. So yeah, I'm probably I'm going to keep doing my playlist. That's not going to go anywhere either. I don't know if it's going to be every month though, but I'm thinking of doing, kind of incorporating a recent album review or two. They would be brief and not very detail oriented like the album review specialists do. So incorporating those into either the beginnings or the ends of my playlist videos. So that's probably what's going to happen. I'm leaning toward that version of what's going to happen. So, and I'm probably going to restructure, tweak my playlist video a little bit, have fewer albums maybe, just so that the video isn't totally long. Well, especially I'm going to have to do that if I'm going to do an album review at the end of playlist. But I figure I'd do just a few of each format, try to put some CDs, some LPs. One resolution I'm going to have, yes, I thought of another resolution. I'm going to do more streaming this year. I said that I was going to do more streaming last year, but yeah, I want to do more streaming and try and do at least 1 or 2 albums every month in my playlist video as ones that I streamed. Gosh, when I talk a lot, my throat gets dry. I'm sure that happens to you too. But so yeah, that's kind of the way I want to restructure playlist, is have, sections of, CDs, LPs, streaming. And the way things are going, I might even have a cassette segment on playlist. And so, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about having. That's really the only change. I may have more. Oh, a couple other things I do want to do is, this is something that I mentioned back in my channel trailer video, which I filmed almost 2 years ago. I need to update that, by the way. I was talking about how I might occasionally talk about a book or a DVD relating to music, and I have never done that. I've kept meaning to do that, and I've been wanting to do that, and so I think I'm going to do that maybe every month. So or every other month. I haven't figured it out yet, but I want to do and alternate between a book 1 month or 1 episode and a DVD the next. So alternate, maybe doing 6 books and 6 DVDs in a month, or possibly just 3 and 3 or 4 and 4. Who knows? That's, frequency is down the line as to how often I'm going to do that. But yeah, that's what I want to do is actually start talking about the books and DVDs about music that I have in my library that I have never talked about. And perhaps that will motivate me to read more of the books that I have in my library. Yes, I have this thing where I'm not much of a reader, but I buy books anyway. The vast majority of books that I buy are reference or pictorial or coffee table books. So more pictures than words. But I know how to read. Yes, I want to try and get myself more into reading. So it's my mother is a huge reader. My sister was an avid reader as well. So it's like my brother and I just didn't get the gene, I guess. So I don't think my father was much of a reader. I can't remember. He's been gone for so long, I can't really remember. But anyway, yeah, books and DVDs, I want to get more into that. And I also want to bring back, hopefully, my discography segment, which I did my first discography just like a month or so into my channel. It's very rough. I warn you, if you go back looking through my old videos and watch my first discography on a rock band called 11, incidentally, it's going to be very rough and awkward. And I'm speaking like this, and very methodically and machine-like. So watch it at your own risk. But yes, I want to bring back discography. It's going to be tweaked a little bit, restructured, because in that segment, don't tell the YouTube copyright bots, but I put song clips into that one. I never got flagged for it, even, not even a warning or anything on my channel. So, but I think all their albums are out of print. That's why that one slid by. But it's fun. So, I mean, that one you will at least be able to, as many shortcomings as my presence on the video has, you'll be able to hear sound clips by the artist. So it's got pluses and minuses. But yeah, discography, I'd like to bring that back as well. So yeah, I want to do more different things on my channel. One mistake I made last year was having too many monthly features. I had so many monthly features going that I didn't have time to really do much of anything else each month. So yeah, I had great ambitions, but I just put too much on my plate, So, anybody have any questions? Hey guys, Noah's doing all the commenting here. Noah and Alyssa. I mean, come on, guys, step up your game, really. Come on. But yeah, that's what is already gone 35 minutes. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to go more than 1 hour because I don't have a whole lot else to talk about. Other than, yeah, I hope you enjoy my browsing my Discogs inventory, see if there's anything that you like. And what else am I going to say? I have absolutely no idea. This might end up being less than an hour because, as I said, I am kind of tired. So, I thought was... Oh, you're browsing that and you're not paying attention to the video? No, you call yourself a friend. Anyway, what else do I have? I have very little to talk about. I am embarrassed. Like I said, I've never been... I'm not the king of live... Excuse me. I am not the king of live streaming. I will fully admit that. But, yeah. Oh, I know what I could do. It's something you guys never get to see in my regular videos. Me walking around awkwardly. No, that's not what I was going to show you. My camera. It is a Samsung camera, and it only goes as HD as 720p. It doesn't go 1080. And this is the the mount for my tablet. Yeah, that thing over there. The tablet. So yeah, it's sitting right here while I'm sitting there watching the video. So I can just... That's why I'm looking down all the time, constantly, when I'm doing videos. So yeah. So there you go. A little behind the scenes peekaboo, I guess you'd say. Oh yes, of course you're the king of live streams since you haven't done any in, what, 8 months? Oh, I tease you because I love you. Let's see, what else? Oh, I was teasing about a possible, another channel that I was going to do. I have not found the time to do it yet. I thought I was going to be able to launch it at the beginning of the year. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, so I don't know when it's going to happen. I've got the green screen for it. It's because, yeah, it's one that I plan on when I do the videos. I'm going to film myself against a green screen and put a fun, cool, trippy animation behind me. So. Oh, I was hoping to have... I used my Christmas time gift card that I got. Oh. Okay, I'll get to that in a second, Noah. Oh, yeah, my Christmas gift card. You keep distracting me, Noah. Hush. I decided to go ahead and pump up some discographies, a couple of discographies that I had been anemic on, I guess is the word. I don't have very many of their albums, is what I'm trying to say. I was hoping to be able to show them to you because I was hoping they would have arrived by now, but they haven't. But yeah, I found on eBay a couple of very well-priced lots. I'll probably be showing these in a future video. Box sets by Green Day and Bruce Springsteen. Yes, Green Day's first 8 studio albums in a little... They're all in sleeves in a little cardboard box, probably about this thick. And same thing with Springsteen, his first 7 albums, so 8 CDs because The River was comprised of 2 CDs. So yeah, those are on the way, and yeah, those will be fun to listen to. Oh, and I just ordered 3 CDs from another Discogs buyer that I had a really good experience with before, and so those should be coming in the next week or so. So I'm really looking forward to getting those. And so, okay, let's get to Noah's big burning question, the question that everybody has on their minds: the Star Wars prequels. Well, this is a music channel. It's not that other channel. This would be more appropriate for that other channel, but since I don't have that other channel up and running yet, it's going to be on this channel. The Star Wars prequels, I like them. I don't love them as much as the classic trilogy, but yeah, I like them. I thought, I don't know, what you want them, oh, you want me to rank them? You don't want specifics? I don't know. I thought Ewan McGregor was a fantastic choice for Obi-Wan. I loved his portrayal of Obi-Wan. And the thing that I hated most about the prequels was the fact that Qui-Gon had to die in the first one. I really liked him. I've liked Liam Neeson for as long as I can remember. But you want me to rank them? Honestly, I think Revenge of the Sith is my favorite of the 3. Just because the second half of the movie is kind of like puts me at the edge of my seat. As soon as the big confrontation in the Chancellor's office or whatever it is, when Anakin turns, from then on to the end of the movie, it's kind of I'm held enraptured by the story. So he was a chosen one. Well, he was, supposedly. A prophecy that misread could have been. Anyway, and then, I'm probably going to have to cheat. Noah, you're not going to like this. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I didn't provide huge details. Well, she should at least know the basic part of the story, shouldn't she? Because she's watched the classic trilogy first, right? And she's smart, Noah. She probably made the connections already. So anyway, you're underestimating her intelligence, aren't you? Shame on you. I'm going to tell her. And anyway, back to the ranking. When we are in the same room and visiting each other, we're going to have too much fun. I got to say, just funny, hilarious conversations. Anyway, back to the ranking before I was so rudely interrupted. You're not going to like me for this, but in a way, I would have to tie episodes 1 and 2. Because episode 2 had a lot of fun action moments, and and despite the incredibly cringy romance novel dialogue that Anakin spouts in the movie, I still like it. I'm talking about episode 2. And the silly title, Attack of the Clones, couldn't they have called, yes, they called episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker, but I always thought the Rise of the Clones would have been a better title for episode 2. But anyway, that's moot because it was already done. Man, I liked episode 1. I didn't have quite as many big problems with Jar Jar as a lot of other people did. A lot of people complain about the fact that his speech patterns seemed racist. I'm kind of, just because it was not, technicality maybe, that it didn't mimic or make fun of, if you can even say that, a specific ethnic speech pattern, at least not to my knowledge. So, so in that respect, I have a problem with it being labeled as racist. I don't know. Maybe people were reading too much into that. I don't know. But yeah, that's always kind of been a little bit of a drawback to Jar Jar. Also, he was just a little bit too clownish. I think George Lucas went a little bit overboard in making Jar Jar the comic relief. That's my biggest problem with Phantom Menace. But the fact that, as I said, Liam Neeson, he in a large part, he makes the movie for me. I loved him. Like when Jar Jar was grabbing food with his tongue, and Qui-Gon just grabs his tongue and says, "Don't do that again," and lets it go. I love that. That was one of the best scenes in the movie, I thought. And of course, the fight with Darth Maul. Oh my God. I was like, that was a mind-blowing saber fight especially when it first hit the theaters. It's like the fans were losing their shit for that with that. But yeah, yeah, Phantom Menace is. I would agree. It's underrated. But yes, there are some of my friends who are Star Wars fans who think that the prequel trilogy sucks. I do not go that far because, in my opinion, any with the recent movies this might stretch credibility, but to a degree, any Star Wars movie is a good Star Wars movie. I think. Excuse me, any Star Wars movie is a good movie in my opinion. So, yeah, I like all 6 of the first movies. So, it's like when I watch one, I have to watch the other 2 in that trilogy in very quick succession. That's just because of the way I am. When I watch Back to the Future, within 3 weeks, I have to watch part 2 and 3. And I don't know if any of the rest of you are like that. But... Oh, really? Yeah, it was Ahmed Best. Yeah. He was traumatized once he learned that people found it racist. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he wasn't meant to be racist. No. Yeah. Oh, character limit. So, yeah, I guess, and it's probably a flimsy excuse on my part to say that the fact that just because it didn't mimic a specific ethnic uh, group, that it wasn't really racist. That's a weak argument. I admit that. Totally admit that. So, but yeah, that's one drawback. They could have rethunk some things on Jar Jar, in my opinion. Yeah. And also the Gungans. And okay, another thing. We're just going full on geek tonight, aren't we? Another thing with the Phantom Menace was pretty much all of the alien races spoke in pidgin English. It's like, why not have them speak in regular English, like the whatever species, the Trade Federation, Gunray and those guys. The guy at the ventilation shaft. It's like, person sounded like they spoke very bad Chinese or something. It's just that's one thing I would have recommended to them as they were making a movie. Let up on the accents, make some of them sound more normal. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But yeah, honestly, if I had to rank between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, it would be very, very close, possibly too close to call. So, because they both have their advantages. And as I said, between episodes 1 through 6, there are no bad movies, in my opinion. I love them all. Although I think the most compelling and dramatically rich movie was The Empire Strikes Back. Top tier. That's my opinion. It was just so dimensional, and there wasn't the wall-to-wall action that there was in just about all the other movies. Well, I guess not. Episode 2 was different too, but that was more of a romance. And Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, was much more of a dramatic. It was a darker movie, and it had a lot of disturbing stuff in it. When you think about it, Han being tortured by Vader, and the Luke's experiences in the cave on Dagobah, where he confronts Vader when it's actually not Vader, and then he sees the mask blows up, and you see, I won't say whose face you see, just in case Alyssa hadn't seen that movie either. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it, even though it sounds like you protected her from the spoilers, Noah. If all of the Star Wars characters released an album, which would have the best music? That is a good question, actually. Oh, gosh. I don't know. For some, when I think about Obi-Wan, I picture him putting out like a Cat Stevens-ish album. you know, because he's kind of the hippie, old hippie guy kind of thing. I don't know. Luke would, especially the way Luke was in the first movie, episode 4. He'd probably put out like a John Denver album or something. It'd just be silly. Han, I don't know, maybe Han. Oh, who's calling me on my cell phone? I'm not there to answer it, so never mind. It's on the other side of the room, so if that's you calling me, Noah, I'm not answering. Let's see. Vader would probably put out a black metal album, I would think. But I'm not a fan of black metal, so. Let's see. Yoda. I wonder what kind of a. Maybe Yoda would put out an Eastern influenced album, maybe with sitar or something, kind of like Ravi Shankar. So, see, great minds think alike. See, oh, it was. Why would you call me when I'm in the middle of a live stream? It would be distracting. Nobody else would be enjoying the joke. Anyway, let's see. What other characters do we have? Leia. What would she put out? I don't know if I'd be able to say who would put out the best album. I kind of like to theorize what kind of albums they each would put out. Let's see. Who's it talking about? Leia. I feel kind of a Joni Mitchell vibe from Leia. Maybe. She doesn't seem like a Carly Simon or a Linda Ronstadt. She seems more like maybe a Patti Smith, because Leia was a badass. General Grievous? I don't know. All right. First thing that comes to mind would be hip hop, some kind of a very weird variant of hip hop, possibly. I don't know. It would be too easy of a joke to say heavy metal. 3PO, what would 3PO would put out either a 3PO would probably put out a techno album. Oh, R2 and 3PO would put out a totally Daft Punk album, a total Daft Punk flavored album. That's what they'd be born to do. Let's see. God, what other characters would we have here? Qui-Gon. What would Qui-Gon put out? I don't know. Yeah. Once you get past those characters, the other characters are kind of Lando. Well, of course, Lando would put out a Childish Gambino flavored album, obviously, right? Since it was Childish Gambino played him in the. Okay, I guess 21st century Lando would put out a Childish Gambino album, obviously, but the original Lando, he would put out a classic 60s or 70s soul album, because Billy D. Williams was cool. He just had a special kind of cool about him. He was one of my favorite characters, Lando. Oh, and Chewie. What would Chewie put out? Chewie would probably put out a swamp rock album, like maybe Lynyrd Skynyrd-ish kind of thing. Well, we lined up on General Grievous too. Are you serious? This is just getting weird. Was I with you, or were you with me on the R2 and 3PO? Or were you thinking maybe Daft Punk sort of thing? I don't know. Or at least a synth wave, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, see, this has turned out to be a fun live stream. I should have known you guys were going to lift my spirits, and so yeah. See, what do I have other thoughts on Star Wars? I have a lot of the soundtrack albums. I've got I have a CD box set that was put out in 1997, I think it was, of the the original soundtrack anthology. It was called. That was the original edits, the original album edits of the first three, the classic trilogy albums, and one disc of those were expanded, and plus an additional disc of previously unreleased stuff. And I also found, used for $37, which was an amazing purchase, the box set of the soundtracks from all 6 Star Wars movies in a little, bookshelf, shelf-sized box set thing. They're all in their sleeves. But the difference with the original trilogy is these were the expanded, remastered ones where the soundtracks were heard as they appeared in the movie, and the original releases were more like arranged like symphonic suites, sort of thing. So big differences in those, but so interesting little insight into my CD collection that probably not a lot of people care about. And this again is, for those of you who don't know, the second channel that I'm hoping to launch sometime soon is the sci-fi, Star Trek, Star Wars, etc. themed. So it's a channel where I'll be able to get my geek on. So some of the stuff that we discussed in this video may show up eventually on that channel. So wish me luck in finding the time to put out, produce videos for both channels. I really, really would like to do that. But, I have to work, It's like I'm paying the bills. What's that, So, and I guess you can see up in the very, very corner up here, my Starship Enterprise, and have another Enterprise up here. And I have another Enterprise here. I had a notepad here. As you can see, it says Captain's Log. So I have so many various little enterprises that that's the reason why I sent one to a very good friend of mine, just as a fun little gift, was because I already had more than I knew what to do with. So. Speaking of which, he will hopefully soon be requesting more recommendations for Star Trek episodes. So let's see what else. Oh gosh, it's been almost an hour. And I was thinking this was going to be about an hour, so I may be calling it quits soon, especially since I'm running out of stuff to talk about. You might be seeing an interesting little twist in my upcoming January backtracks. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not even going to drop any hints. So, yeah. Well, the one little hint is it has something to do with something I discussed earlier in this video. So that's your only hint. So yeah. And hopefully I won't be reneging on my promise that only the December backtracks was going to be half lengths, because honestly, I actually haven't even started writing the notes for my next backtracks, my January backtracks yet. So that's one reason why I'm a little bit behind. And it was so nice having half the work to do on backtracks that I normally have to do in December. So that might be too much of a temptation to resist. I might do, the second shout out for each year, and maybe I'll just do as a screen, as a card on the screen, just saying, this album, and just little statistics about it. So I don't know. I'm still debating on that. My next bargain bag I plan on filming tomorrow, so that'll be up early next week. So a handful of good CDs, by the way, in this bargain bag that I listened to. So some of the one that I was hoping would be good, because I spoiler alert, it's one that I had before, turned out to be almost as good as I remember, and there were a couple of pleasant surprises in that one that usually happens. Usually there's at least one that is better than I expected it would be. So that is so funny that we actually jibed with so many of the Star Wars album artist genre thing. I'm having trouble speaking. So yeah, well, guys, this was fun. Unless you guys, anybody has any questions? because that's what one thing I kind of made this a live stream for was questions. Yeah, God, Noah and Alyssa have been doing all the talking, guys. Yeah, I got to step up your game. How often would you guys like me to do a live stream? Any requests on that? Please don't say every week. I don't think I could do it every week. I could maybe do it once every month or two. Possibly. Now that might be a thing. No, I don't know. That would be too much of a have to rigidly time it. I was going to think maybe I would do my playlists as live streams, but maybe that would be trying to do everyone as a live stream. Yeah. Would be a little bit too much of a thing to follow. But if I could, just do every once in a while, do one as a live stream. But yeah, this is fun. Maybe I'll do a live stream at least twice a year. Every other month, possibly, yeah. Or yeah, as I was thinking, maybe. I think probably at the most infrequent, I'm going to try to do one at least twice a year. Maybe one in January, one in June or July. Although depending on where the COVID vaccine situation might be, I might not be here in July. I might be visiting a friend. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, fingers crossed on the vaccine, guys. We've made it this far. Just stay masked up, physical distancing, keep washing your hands just for a few more months, guys, and maybe we'll finally get vaccinated and this will be far less of a threat than it has been. And yeah, it's just, yeah, it's been hitting really hard. It's been ramping up, really coming back with a vengeance. And yeah, it's not fun. So, but not to end that on a down note, but this has been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. And well, thank one or two of you guys for commenting. Some of you didn't. No offense. I mean, you guys maybe you just didn't have anything to say. So no harm there. And sometimes when I'm the host, I don't have much of anything to say. So I don't blame you. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, tuning in. For those of you who didn't catch it, the upload will happen within it's usually about 24 hours. You'll be able to watch this recorded. So guys, thank you so much. Have a happy rest of your January and a great 2021. I sense good things coming in 21. I've already bought my first new album of 2021. So you guys will probably be hearing about that in my next playlist video maybe. So yes, hopefully it'll be a great year for music. I am looking forward actually to the next Foo Fighters album. And I've just recently gotten into Foo Fighters. So yeah, I love the singles off their album. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And there's actually another album that I'm looking forward to that's coming out on the same date as the new Foo Fighters. So I've already got a few albums, well, at least two coming up in the pipeline that I'm looking forward to. So anyway, thanks guys for tuning in and for watching and for sticking with me through thick and thin, as they say. And here's to 2021. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.